Alright, we're playing some Final Fantasy XIV today, and the quest we are doing is a story quest. We're following right along. We got Righteous Indignation, given to us by Estinian. Let us go. We are in Azisla, the Delta Quadrant, which is like the southwest of this giant floating, you gotta be able to fly to get everywhere kind of zone. I haven't explored this fractal continuum part. I think that's a raid. Oh, it's a dungeon. Okay. Why haven't I explored that yet? It's too far away to do it right now. Anyway, here we go. Tiamat awaits. This way. Tiamat awaits. This way. I'm trying to figure out what I should do for Estinian's voice. But Alisei Alphino and I believe Graha? Yeah. Follow along with us. We're gonna fly southwest, southwest, and here indeed is this kind of music change, spiraling purple crystal structure that goes up and up and up, and from these purple crystals that are theoretically pretty stable because they got chains coming from them holding Tiamat in place, is indeed a Tiamat bound with these circular kind of like rings, these technological rings. You got a sphere here for some reason, maybe to limit the ability for Tiamat to do like dragon breath. Yeah, all these rings that are binding Tiamat in place. And here is the destination with the rest of my gang kind of waiting already. Cutscene. Oh shit, I almost dropped my drink. My grip faltered for like a millisecond, but I felt the drink fall like that far. My sire's mortal companion, what bringeth thee back to this forsaken place, child of man?
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
How would she know? I mean, somebody, a dragon or person, would have to bring such knowledge to her. She ain't, what's it called? Omniscient. All-knowing, you know. Is that all-knowing or all-seeing? Anyway. My character was explaining what was going on to her, and the cutscene went black for a second, and we're back on a close-up of her. Ah, that my sins should be repeated. I sensed not the faintest stirring. As to who could have called him forth, I know of none save the dragons of Merlacidia, our children. Merlacidia. This puts Alisei in thought. The Icon claimed their souls when first he manifested, and robbed of their will, they became tool for the Allegan's dark design.
Much like those held here in Azisla. If dragons who worship Bahamut are required to summon him, that must mean...
Yes, the dragons of Merlacidia are at the mercy of this Asien. There can be no other explanation. Accursed Asians, vile minions of darkness. Again, you would profane the memory of my beloved and strip our children of their freedom, their dignity. Are there no depths to which you will not stoop? Kind of feel bad for her.
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
What wouldst thou have from me, Slayer of Dragons?
Behavior befitting a great worm. We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mericidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
She roars quite mightily. Estinian is still staring her down. Were I free, I would answer thine insolence with fire, but words shall have to suffice. Recall, mortals, that it was I who did first summon my beloved, praying with all my being to bring him forth. You who contend with icons cannot well be ignorant of the consequences.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Indeed. Ask the Dragon Slayer, and he will tell thee the power he of the First Brood wield. Were I to lose myself to the Icon's influence, all would pay the price. But it is of little matter, for even had I the strength to resist, I yet lack the strength to break my shackles. This prison shall be my tomb. Twins look to each other.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
Speakest thou in earnest? She nods.
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
A chance to make amends, to lay Bahamut's memory to rest. We see from her vision down at us. When our own star faced annihilation, Hydaelyn granted us sanctuary, and now your foes would bring about her destruction. This I cannot allow, for the debt I owe to Hydaelyn and to all who have suffered for my sins. I shall fight with you, children of man. Estinian crosses his arms and thinks, smiles, and the cutscene fades to black. We're about to free Tiamat, huh? Did not think that's where this was going. Whew, okay, let's swap out our menu. We had the Onion Knight for a while here. Buffalo Calf, pretty basic, I like it. Alright, here we go. Grahatia, another cutscene. While Porxies have been shown to be effective in curing the temper, Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were we to remove her restraints only to find that the process had failed, we would be hard-pressed to contain her. Alcé nods. Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find that information here? Why, yes, we can. We can indeed. The Allagans kept detailed records on all of their notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. Alphino nods. We shall leave that to you then. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to the removal of those shackles. Alice does the fist palm thing. I know Alphino and Mercy here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Says Estinian to Graha. He turns. Rest assured, Sir Estinian, that I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of this star, though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do not claim to know all of her sorrows, I too once found myself in a prison of despair, and I well understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape. It took the encouragement of braver souls than I am to make me take the first step towards a brighter future, and now I would help Tiamat do the same. I gather you are not as young as you look. Mayhap when our work here is done, we could trade tales over a pot of Tataru's famous tea. And be indebted to her for the leaves and hot water? I think not. I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the flagship. Yes, we are familiar with it. The etherochemical research facility in particular. Oh, you may wish to take this, a spirit vessel containing a small amount of my blood. Hands it to me. Which you just happen to be carrying around with you? He turns to her. I suppose that could seem rather odd. To explain, Rambrose, Urlianje, and I are researching the use of spirit vessels and the transference not only of memories, but the traits of certain bloodlines, and so I keep one at the ready should an opportunity to test our theories arise. As for its use to you, you may recall that during our previous visit, the nodes here granted access to restricted functions, having identified me as being of royal blood, and armed with that spirit vessel, I posit that they will do the same for you, even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It seemed worth a try, at least. Agreed. We will take good care of it. To the flagship, then. Alphino turns to leave. Estinian follows. Cutscene goes black. I fly up and up and up over the large form of Tiamat. To the flagship. I believe I need to be on the upper level, so I'll keep going up. Isn't it weird that you yawn when you're not even tired? I'm not even a little bit tired at this particular junction. Cool. Up was where I needed to go, so talk to Alphino here. Let us split up and search the flagship for the node that controls Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release some manner of experimental monstrosity, nor less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective at this stage is simply to identify the relative node or nodes. Once we have learned that what we can, we should reconvene and compare notes prior to proceeding. Alright. So we fly even more north. Hey, dragon. Or sphinx, sorry. Kind of like a technological sphinx. A war spite. A two-armed kind of drill mech. Cool looking. Obstreperous node. Hope that's on the right button. Data link with Delta Quadrant broken. Possible cause, intruder interference. Advised deployment of automated combat units. Proceed? No. Please don't. Malodorous node. Like it smells bad? Visit friction between metallic components detected. Temperature increasing to critical levels. Please replace damaged parts or retreat to a safe distance. Retreat I shall. Where is the third node? Short time searching. Clamorous node. Blip bloop. Warning. Scheduled dragon restraint maintenance due in 2020 years. Failure to verify system integrity may result in unscheduled specimen release. Interesting. Back over to where we left Alphino and Estinian. It looked like my jazz wolf like kept flying and just fell off the... That was funny. I'm afraid Estinian and I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? I did. A node which smelled like burned hair. Yes, a chirruping node which spontaneously warned me about neglecting the dragon restraints. I found a way to activate mechanical sentries, if that's any help, or no. Yes, a chirruping node which spontaneously warned me about neglecting the dragon restraints. Spontaneously, you say? Well, that does sound promising. Almost suspiciously so, in fact. But then you were in possession of the spirit vessel. I dare say it is indeed the node of which Graha spoke. And it was chirruping, you say? Very well, let us take a closer look. Flying back to Node, I see that I never really got it right. Maybe in a different light, you can take Graha's blood and you can identify me as a friend. Clamorous node, with a little check mark above it for completion. Blip, do you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanisms? Blip, bloop. You do not have the requisite access privileges. Operation of the dragon restraint mechanisms may only be undertaken by the chief technologist and members of the royal family. Or those with a vessel of royal blood, perhaps? Alright, let's hand over the field trial spirit vessel. Looks like a test tube with a little bit of blood. And we have a cutscene. This glowing green, but like the metal, just you have metal that is dark, kind of gray, and then you have glowing green lines all over, and it's bisected at the middle so it can spin like both ways. Blip, new user detected, commencing biometric authentication. Bloop, authentication complete. User identified as member of the royal family. Please state your name. Mercy Valkyr, Alphino Levelier, or Estinian Wormblood. I'll just use my own. Mercy Valkyr. Bloop, welcome Mercy Valkyr. You may operate the dragon restraint mechanisms when ready. Blip, bloop, error. Unable to disengage restraints of the specimen Tiamat. A system update is required. Of course it is. That's funny. A system update? What do you suppose it is asking of us? I could hazard a guess. Or to smash it to pieces. I could hazard a guess. Well, that's more than I can say, confounded bloody thing. User agitation detected. Initiating guidance program. Bloop. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to the central control system. However, I am unable to establish a link to said system due to the obsolescence of my own software. This issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal located within the flagship. We all look to each other. So can this thing release the restraints or not? It can, but only once it has received the requisite system update, as far as I can tell. Until which time it'll float there spewing nonsense. It approaches him a little bit. User dissatisfaction detected. Initiating placation protocols. Bloop, I am here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. Placation protocols, that's cute. How gratifying, but I dare say we will fare better with guidance than without it. Estinian shakes his head with his arms crossed. The node spins in indignation and seems to be very nervous that its services are not up to our liking, but whatever. Righteous Indignation is complete. There will be a link in the... what are words? You know what I'm saying? There will be a link in the description of this video that will send you to my Google Doc PowerPoint where every slide is an item on Amazon that I personally recommend because I use them and they're awesome. And I just recently replenished, I ordered mayo with avocado oil, and I think before that my most recent purchase was the strawberry lemonade, the Ice brand bottles of flavored water. It's so good, dude. It's so good. It's ridiculously good for having no sugar. I don't understand it. It's probably gonna give me cancer. I have no idea, but anyway, if you purchase any of those items on those slides with a link on that particular slide, I will get a small cut. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna make more today. I will see you next time. Bye bye.